Okay, so here are the instructions for our mini album that we are making at the retreat. I decided to go ahead and make this video so that if you couldn't follow along in class or decided that you didn't want to do it at the retreat but wanted to do it at home, you could. So we have our file folders, and you received 4 of these in your kit. And we're actually going to open up the file folder, and then we're going to fold it in half the wrong way. Okay, so you're going to line it up and just make sure that your seam right here where you fold is lined up, and use a bone folder or something else to get it nice and tight. So there's our first page. Okay, and I'm going to do these other 2 really quick. And there's our second page. And I'm just going to do 3 today, because that's what I used in my example, but you're actually going to get 4 so that you have plenty to make a book. So these manila envelopes are essentially our pages of our mini book. So you put them all together, and then if you want, you don't have to, you're going to want to take a ruler, and you're going to want to take and trim off the edges of your file folder so you have a nice smooth edge. Okay, so now I have my edges trimmed. On the sample, I've rounded my corners, but you don't have to. I just kind of like the way it looked, but you can leave them flat. Just a regular 90-degree angle. So the first thing we're doing is going to kind of have fun with our first page. So I'm going to open up my page, and as you can see, we have flaps. So I actually like the idea of having flaps to add fun, interactive pages. So that's what mine looks like. So what we're going to do is take our regular scissors, and we're going to cut along the seam down to our center fold. Okay, so now we have a flap on the left, as you can see there. And actually, I'm going to take less than 1/8 of an inch off the edge, just so that when my book closes, it closes flat and doesn't fold up this edge at this point in folding. So I'm just going to take out that last little bit there. Okay, so now I can either have 2 flaps that'll come down, but what I did for my sample and what I'm going to teach in the class is leaving this flap the way it is, and then on this flap we're actually going to make it smaller. So I'm actually going to cut a little bit out and take it off completely. Okay, so you want to save this, save it for a tag, you know, embellishment, whatever. And so now I have a flap here and a flap here. Okay. On the second page, we're going to rotate it so that the fold is on the top instead of on the bottom like the first page was. Okay. So what I did with this one is I actually, on the example, made it into a pocket. Okay. So I'm going to cut this again right in half like we did on the first one. Cut a little bit off the edge just so we have a little bit of extra room at our center. And then what you're going to want to do is take a punch out a spot right here, and then you're going to glue down one side of your page. Then you will have a pocket that looks like this. Okay. This one I'm just going to leave as a regular flap. On this third page, what I'm going to do is I decided I wanted a pocket on this side for tags, and then just a regular page, no flaps at all on this side. So what I did is I cut down the center again. Cut out my little center. Now if you find when you close your book up and you're trying to close it in the centers, you can always come back in and cut this little spot out so that you have some more breathing room. Because this is what I'm worried about, is closing it and not having it close all the way. Okay, so I'm actually going to cut this entire piece off. And to make it look prettier, you probably want to use your trimmer. But just for the sake of getting it done quick, I'm just going to do this. Save this for more tags. Okay, so on this side, I am going to use the trimmer. And I'm just going to cut about 3 inches off, a little less than half off. So I'm going to actually line up my middle seam with 3 inches on my trimmer so that I know I have a 3-inch pocket at the top. Okay, save that for your tag. Okay. So now I'll have my pocket, and I'm going to want to put some pretty strong tape. You'll probably want to use some tacky tape or at least a tape runner, or even like a zip dry glue or something like that that's going to hold it. I would not use tabs because it'll probably come apart eventually. So what you just glue here, and then you have a pocket for tags, and then the back of your book. So when you have all of your pages cut the way you want, because you'll have actually one more file folder that you can cut any way that you want, you're going to stack them all together. Okay, so there's my first page, there's my second page, and my third page. Then what you're going to want to do is take your pages like this, and again, use a strong adhesive, either a tacky tape, even a glue stick would work, and then you're going to glue both sides, stick them together so that your pages are stuck. So then you will have a mini book that opens like this. And just to show you on the example that I don't have done yet, because I wanted you guys to be able to see the actual pages and how they work. Here's my front cover. And then here's my pocket. And then on this one, instead of making a flap, this was a flap. This is also a flap. I made this a pocket. I just glued both sides together and then took my circle punch and punched a circle in the middle so that I could put a tag in it. And this is my second set. Here's my pocket here. And then here's my flap that goes up. And on my third page, here's my pocket for my tags, and then my back cover. So I hope you enjoy this. Feel free to decorate any way you want, and we'd love to see them when they're done. You may not finish them at the retreat, so if you'd like, you can post them somewhere, and then post a link on our blog under comments under this video. We'd love to see them. Thank you so much.